So first of all, Adam, thank you so much for visiting Puerto Rico.
Of course, it's been amazing.
I think I don't have any rush with the other guys in the press. So far, your experience in Puerto Rico.
So far, how's my experience been? Is that what you said? It's been amazing. I've been eating too much food.
Were you expecting, with a bilingual audience, lady, were you expecting the love that these people have been showing to you?
Look, I travel a lot of places, and I try to go in with zero expectations of any people or place or anything like that, just because you never know. You never know. But it's been overwhelming. Everyone here is hyped. There's been a lot of hype here. So it's been really, really cool to experience.
Awesome. So, how do you view the bilingual population of Puerto Rico in relation to the anime dub industry? Do you consider it a challenge, or do you see it as an opportunity to grow?
Do I see it as a challenge in what?
Right. So you're dealing usually in the mainland. It's only English. When we speak about Mexico, South America, and Central America, it's Spanish.
Yeah.
But Puerto Rico and some states, they're like great amount of population bilingual.
Yeah.
So they consume Spanish dub and English dub.
Mm-hmm.
So for voice actors, do you see this as an opportunity or a challenge for the dubbing industry, in your case English, to grow in the island?
I don't actually, as a voice actor, I don't necessarily think about it. My job is to just do my best and try and be a good actor. I think it's really cool that people are consuming media of all different kinds in different places. And I think Puerto Rico is unique in that, like you said, the population is bilingual. So you guys got the best of all the worlds because you can watch it in sub, like everyone, read the subtitles, or you can watch the Spanish dub or the English dub. So really, you guys are probably all the people of Puerto Rico who are anime fans should probably be the ones who tell you what's good and what isn't because they can watch it in all the languages.
No, definitely. Your career, when you start your career, you start kind of younger on the voice acting, but not in the dub, right? As a voice actor, you start in other industry, then you enter to the anime world, right?
Yeah. So I came to anime very late in my career. I started voice acting in the late 90s. So my first paid professional gig was in 1998. And I had a career and have made a living acting since then, since literally my first job. I've always, it's been my full-time job. I've never done anything else. And then I was on a show called Star vs. the Forces of Evil that ended in 2019. And in around the time that it was ending, I had been recommended a show called My Hero Academia. So I was watching My Hero, I was going through My Hero, and at a certain point I was like, I was looking up the cast and I was like, I don't know any of these people. I've never worked with them. That's so weird. I wonder why that is. And then I started looking, I'm like, why don't I audition for anime? And it just turned into this whole thing of it sounds like they're having a lot of fun. I want to have fun too. It seems like a really fun genre. And so I reached out to my agency and started a conversation, and shortly thereafter, so this was probably end of 2019, and then beginning of 2020, I had my first audition for anime, which was for My Hero Academia. And then shortly after that, I had my second audition for anime, which was for JuJutsu Kaisen, and then ended up booking Yuji. So it all happened relatively quickly in terms of saying hey, is this something I could do? And then the agency making it happen and all that stuff. So
when you start with the role of Yuji and JuJutsu Kaisen, did you knew it was going to be so important to the industry? Because there's some today's day, of course, many people speak about the core anime, the 3 big, but today's day with the new generation, there's some series that are very recognized by the new generation in the industry. JuJutsu Kaisen wants to keep hitting that industry and growing more and more. Do you, by any chance, ever cross your mind that it will be so meaning to the whole industry, so important for people around the anime industry?
Yeah, no. No, well, kind of, in a way. I mean, look, I think, like I said, I've been doing this long enough that I don't put all my eggs in one basket, or I don't get too excited too early, because you just never know. We all work on shows all the time that no one's ever heard of. I've done so many jobs that everyone would be like, what is that? I know I'm incredibly lucky to have booked the part of Itadori and JuJutsu Kaisen. I did know that the manga had been selling significant numbers in Japan. when I got the audition. And I had a friend who mentioned, hey, keep an eye out for this show. It's really popular in Japan. I think it's going to be the next like big one. But still, my job when I'm auditioning is to not have that in the back of my head, because that can come across in your auditions and your acting. So I just had to do my job, and it's been amazing to be a part of something that is doing exactly what you're saying. And now that, you know, I get to travel to places like Puerto Rico, I was in the Philippines earlier this year, I'm going to London later this year, all because of JuJutsu Kaisen. The doors that it's opened, the popularity that it has globally is bringing me lots of different places. So it's been incredible.
You mentioned Philippines and
London. Yeah.
So we're talking about international travel when people sometimes we don't think about beyond our bubble. Do you ever think that the dub industry will make so big impact outside the United States? Because many times we never think about that in making impact outside the United States, especially
Right.
English dub.
Yeah. I mean, I think in places like London, obviously, where they speak English, and Philippines, which is very similar to Puerto Rico, where the population, most of them are bilingual, Tagalog and English. So it makes sense, you know, it makes sense that those places would consume things also in English. But I do think that the dub, it's more than just, you know, you see the debate all the time, sub versus dub, blah, 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 blah. But I think it's less of a preference. And some people, it's just the only way they can consume the media. Some people can't read at that clip that they would need to read for the sub. Some people, you know, have other like learning disabilities or things like that, you know. So it opens up and makes the media, the anime, more widely available for everybody. And for me, like, I don't really care what people watch it in. It doesn't matter to me. I think the show is so good that I just want people to watch it. Honestly, a rising tide raises all ships. So if they're watching it in Japanese, even if they're not a fan of the English dub, whatever, they're a fan of the show, which means hopefully that more gets made, which means I get to do it for longer. So it's all, you know, I just want everybody to enjoy it.
And I'm going to go outside JuJutsu Kaisen finally.
Okay.
You have another important character in Tokyo Revenger, one of the last shonen manga many people underestimate, and they never thought that would make a great impact, not only in the guys' population, also girls were super into this anime series when it get released. Yeah. How was the experience with dealing with a new character that is like a new, I would say, point of view? Because in Tokyo Revenge, you're thinking about a guy from them. They're like gangs? No,
they're gang. They're in a gang. They're like kid gang guys. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, Tokyo Revengers is amazing. The fandom is very, very loyal for Tokyo Revengers. I think it's very fascinating how popular Tokyo Revengers is in Japan. It's very popular in Japan, and I don't think that it's quite hit the same stride here in the United States. But I do think that it has potential. You know, with the merger of like Crunchyroll, Funimation, and then Disney getting into the anime game, it's pulling different properties, different places. So season 1 of Tokyo Revengers was on Crunchyroll, season 2 was on Hulu, and I think just the switch in that, we lost some viewership, and it's hard for people to know where stuff is these days because there's so many places streaming anime. But Tokyo Revengers has been amazing. I'm excited for season 3, and hopefully, you know, the dub continues and all that stuff. But yeah, it's been a good one too.
Definitely, and you mentioned something super interesting, that the income of new companies to the anime industry, because in the past 10, 15 years ago, it was only Funimation, Crunchyroll. Nobody crossed, I mean, Netflix was already making their entrance, but nobody crossed in the idea that Disney, as a big company, will get into the market.
Right.
In this case, you experience that transition from one company to a second company, and that's legal stuff what happened between the company. In the case of the voice actor, was transparent that transition, change of command, up command, or did you guys see any like that change?
It kind of varies from project to project. Tokyo Revengers was interesting. It changed studio hands, so a different studio recorded season 2. What I appreciate that studio did was they brought the director from season 1 from the other studio. They kept all the original actors. So even though the studio changed, the like production side didn't, as far as like the actors go. So that was greatly appreciated by the fans as well as the actors, that it wasn't an entirely new cast. But, you know, actors are oftentimes the last to find out things, especially the behind the scenes stuff. And again, I always say it's best to stay in your lane. Like my job is to act, so I want to make sure that I'm doing that to the best of my ability and not necessarily. I like to know what's going on, but not necessarily get too involved or, get too not meddle in that aspect of it. So, yeah, I haven't noticed anything like negative per se, other than when you switch stuff up for fans of a show and they now have to go to a new place. And I will say that, for all the hype that Tokyo Revengers had, I don't feel like it was necessarily hyped up or handled or marketed in a way that gave it what it was due, or what it could have been. And the other thing is just Hulu in general, and as great as they might be in certain areas for anime, what I've noticed is they don't on the Crunchyroll app. You can go in and you can type in JuJutsu Kaisen, and then you can click English or Spanish once you're on the JuJutsu Kaisen page. For Tokyo Revengers, if you type in Tokyo Revengers on Hulu, it only takes you to the Japanese. You have to type in Tokyo Revengers English to go to a completely separate page for the English. And I think that they're shooting themselves in the foot, because they're making it harder for people to find their product. And the first rule in business is make it as easy for people to find your product and give you their money as possible, right? So yeah, I think they could have handled it better, but
No, definitely, and that's an issue that in our video podcast, we spoke many times, because we interview other voice actors that have new anime with Hulu, and they face the same challenge. One of them didn't know that his work was already in Hulu until somebody told him, "Hey, you need to write."
That happens all the time. Yeah, because like I said, the actors are the last to know. We don't know. we literally don't know anything unless we hear it from fans or find it on Twitter or something like that.
So far you have your experience in the anime world, but which area of anime dub character would like to dub in the future? Like slice of life, say in the shonen area, sci-fi. What kind of area really attract you? Like you like to experiment?
I mean, I really love shonen. I really love superheroes, powers, all that stuff. I think more of that would be really fun. Zom 100 has been a really fun show so far. Stuff like that is really fun, where it's, I don't know, what would you consider Zom 100? Because that's not really slice of life, but in a way it kind of is, but it's
it has the little bit of shonen with the slice of life. We had the drama with the characters.
Yeah, stuff like that's really fun. But
yeah, it's very good.
It's happy. It's an optimistic show. I like stuff like that. I'll do anything, almost anything, in the anime genres. But I feel like that kind of genre would be fun. Yeah.
Any anime moments that really hit you hard, hit your feelings, or really shocked you, first one that crossed your mind?
Yeah. I loved all of Noragami. I thought Noragami was an amazing series. A specific moment, I will say it's either end of season 3 or end of season 4. I think end of season 3 for My Hero Academia, when Deku, Overhaul, and Mirio are having their fight. That fight was amazing. I mean, truly, I would say that fight is the reason that I wanted to do anime.
Really?
Yeah.
But by that time, you were already dubbing anime, or not yet?
No, not yet. No, not yet. That was probably when I was watching that. It was around that time of 2019. End of 2019, somewhere in there. That's when I was watching that.
That's made me goosebumps, because technically we're speaking something that I feel like happened yesterday. It wasn't too long ago.
I know, but since then we're already through season 4 and 5 of My Hero. So yeah, it was a minute ago that happened. But yeah, it's still like I said, more recently.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Favorite favorite anime area, genre, or series that you like to watch by yourself, not to work, to relax, or to have your fun time?
I really like shows like One Punch Man that have kind of quirky humor. Way of the House Husband.
Oh yeah.
Which are quick watches, but are super fun. Yeah, I would say probably some of those. Although I really do like. I'll do a rewatch of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood every now and again.
Amen.
Just for fun, because it's so good. But yeah.
Definitely. Puerto Rico, I feel like for the first time, there's a new wake up, especially in the new generation, that they're looking at voice actor. I think today is this first session of Expo Anime 2022, and this week in 2023, it's a good example how the new generation is looking at the voice actor.
Yeah.
At the same time, many times to the podcast team, many times we have young people that came to us asking for getting to the dub industry. They're like getting attracted to it. So any message for those youngsters that they're looking forward, they see that maybe dub might be a dream, or maybe there's some way I can make my dream really happen?
Yeah, I would say you should, I think your dream of being a dub actor can be boiled down even more simply. In your dream, you should think a little bit broader and think that your dream is to be a good actor. And you should start there. You should start working on your acting and get really good at acting. Take acting classes. You can take them online, you can take them in person, anything. Invest in yourself to become a really good actor. That will make becoming a dub actor, other voiceover actor, on camera, like all that stuff. I think you have to be really passionate about acting in order to be good at any facet of the industry.
I have a question regarding the production now on the JuJutsu Kaisen video game.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you already started working on that project, but I want to know how has been your experience dubbing for a video game instead of
so you're
anime.
talking about the Cursed Clash?
Yes.
Cursed Clash or something?
Yes,
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, we're all finished. We've already recorded the
Okay.
whole thing. Yeah, we've already
Nice.
recorded the whole thing. They used the same studio that record us for the series, so that was amazing. So we had the same director that came in. We had a director switch in season 1 of JuJutsu Kaisen. About half to 3/4 of the way through, we switched directors, and that director is the one who will be sticking with us for season 2. And she directed the video game. So because we had done it, I think a lot of it was very similar to just kind of redoing things that we had already done. And for us as actors, what was cool is like if there was anything we didn't really like that we did the first time, we could redo it and do it how we wanted to do it. So yeah, but as far as the process went, it was slightly different in that we weren't matching visuals. You know, with anime dubbing, you have to watch the screen and kind of fit your acting into the parameters of where it starts and stops, where the character's mouth starts and stops. But for the video game, we weren't doing that necessarily. All that was being animated afterwards. Or some of it had already been animated and we just had time frames. Like this can only be 0.03 seconds, or this can only be 0.25 seconds. And so we had to make sure our audio fit within that. Which a lot of the times when it's that specific and we're not doing it to a picture, the engineer is kind of managing what the WAV file looks like and all that. So for that video game specifically, it wasn't significantly different than doing a regular episode. So yeah, it was fun.
Do you think that you would actually experiment a little bit more in dubbing other video games in the future? Do you think it's a possibility for you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, all that stuff is happening currently in terms of auditions and stuff like that. There's, I feel like I have maybe like, I don't know, at this point, like 6 games or something like that are coming out. I just worked on a game just came out that I worked on called Palia. It's like an open world game.
Yeah, I saw that one for Switch and
for Switch and PlayStation. Yeah, you can hear me throughout that game. There's another game. Oh, what's it called? Maple Story. Maple Story just had a DLC launch and introduced a new character, and so I voiced the male. I'm the male voice of Kali on that game. So yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff like that that's coming. But definitely, of course, I love what I do. So anytime I'm in there working is the best.
That's so awesome.
It's fun.
Adam, thank you so much.
Of course, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
It's been an honor.
Yeah.
I feel like I had the privilege in this press conference be the only one. So perfect.
Yeah.
I have more intimate conversation.
It's a press
here.
conference for only you.
I'm so happy this happened. So thank you so much.
Of course.
I'm always welcome to Puerto Rico again.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you so
Of course,
Thank you
dude.
so much. I'll see
Thanks,
you
man.
later, man.
Yeah.